Welcome to the BTV Weekly Newscast.
Alright, Mr. Gilpin, what were you doing during 9/11?
Well, actually, during 9/11, I was teaching in room 430, teaching world geography to 7th graders and U.S. history to 8th graders. And I didn't really know what was happening. We didn't have our phones that we walked around with that told us everything was happening. We don't Twitter feeds or anything like that. So we had a teacher who was a special ed teacher who had a daughter who was working at airlines, and she came in and said, hey, they shut down all the airplanes because something bad had happened. We tried to get on the internet to find out what was happening, and there were so many people on the internet that it locked down all the news station internet sites, so we had a hard time finding out what was happening. We were getting bits and pieces of information. We finally heard about the towers falling, and then we started hearing about other planes maybe crashing and some rumors about more than just the ones that actually had crashed. So that's kind of going through the whole day. We were trying to get some news. Eventually we were able to get some things happening, but it was kind of just one of those uneasy, unsettling days because you had no idea what was really happening, just hearing rumors and bits and pieces. But yeah, it was quite a day that you don't forget, specifically when you first heard things, and then throughout the day just kind of wondering what had happened.
What were you doing on the morning of September 11, 2001?
I was in Washington, D.C., working with Indiana University, and had an executive education program there for the Department of the Navy. And I was coordinating a class where we were going to the Pentagon to meet with the Undersecretary of the Navy. And she was going to talk to our class about how the Navy did its budgeting and how it did its job there, and how Crane tied into how the Crane Navy group tied into the budget process and how it all worked. So I was in D.C. with that class that morning and heading to the Pentagon, and we arrived at the Pentagon about 9 o'clock that morning, and we're sitting there in the class with the Undersecretary of the Navy when things happened.
How far were you from when the plane hit?
It turns out we were only about, we were on the 5th floor of the Pentagon, and the plane came in and took out floors 1 and 2, and it was about 70 feet where it came in from where we were. We didn't know that till the next day, but at the time, it turns out that our only escape route was over the wedge that collapsed. So we were puzzled ourselves for a while how close we were, because it was confusing. But the next day when we saw all the diagrams of the building, we realized that we were about 60, 70 feet from where the plane actually came in.
What was your first thought when you heard or saw the plane hit the Pentagon?
We had learned from the Undersecretary of the Navy that morning that the planes had hit the World Trade Center, and but our first thought was that when we heard it, it was a bomb. And the Undersecretary herself even said when it happened, it was not an explosion. It was not a loud bang. It was more like a rushing air. It was a boom. But you not only heard it, but you felt it. And the ceiling tiles started shaking, and actually one of them fell out. But then it was very quiet. And so her first comment was, it must be a bomb, and so we need to get out. But very quickly it calmed down, and we thought everything was just fine. And about a minute or two later, everyone stood up, got their belongings, and then all of a sudden the smoke started coming in through the ceiling, and smoke started coming in through the vents, and we realized there was an issue.
It's going to be sunny throughout the week with mild temperatures.
What position do you play, sir?
I play quarterback, running back, and linebacker.
Wow, you are very talented, sir. Who are you playing against?
We play Columbus North Side this week.
Hope you win. Okay. What are your hopes for your team this year?
A touchdown, another touchdown. We need at least 2 touchdowns.
Great hope, sir.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Hello again, sir. What position do you play?
Wide receiver and corner.
Who's your favorite team to play against so far this year?
Linton, probably.
What are your hopes for this season?
Probably to score another touchdown.
That is some great hopes. Good luck to you, sir.
All right, y'all. What did the ocean say to the beach? Nothing. Just waved. Now, how does the moon cut its hair? Eclipse it. Where do fruits go on vacation? Paris Isle.
Okay, that was bad.
Trash.
My wife said I should do lunges to stay in shape. That'd be a big step forward.
How many rings does this thing have? That was not funny. Welcome.
Welcome to the.
Welcome to the BTV Weekly Newscast.
Turn your body. Nope.
This?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know, but.
More. Okay.
This?
Okay. Yeah, and then yeah.